just like Junior Caminero, who had 3 home runs yesterday, the story is not the World Cup this morning. It's also not Junior Caminero, because the story this morning is Ian freaking Seymour. The Rays nearly had a combined no-hitter because Legumina, who started the game, went 4 batters and did not give up a hit, and then Ian Seymour was just incredible. 6 2/3. He did walk a batter. Shame on you, Ian Seymour. But seriously, he was just outstanding. Not only did he go 6 2/3, he only threw 90 pitches doing it. And I shouldn't say only, because for him, it's a career high. But for 6 2/3 innings, that's very efficient. Ian Seymour was as good as it gets on the mound for the Rays yesterday.
He was incredible yesterday, and he's been good. We saw the struggles from Ian Seymour at the beginning of the season, and he has been really good since then. And Legumina's been good. And this is why I said with Kevin Cash and Kyle Snyder, I just trust. Because the way we were looking at Seymour, when you look at Seymour from months ago, did you see him in any way being in this role?
No. Now, I remember reading at one point something about, him wanting to be a starter and wanting to get stretched out. But at the beginning of the season, no, it didn't cross my mind at all. It didn't cross my mind at all until I read about him wanting to eventually be stretched out and be a starter. But certainly whether I saw him in this role or not, right, if I saw him as a bulk guy or not, would I have predicted what we saw yesterday, which was just a guy who looked dominant on the mound. I mean, just absolutely dominant. He had them off balance all day long. And while it's not a good baseball team, it is a team that beat us up the last 2 days.
Swing and miss on the changeup, and not a good baseball team in the Royals, but you got to win, and you have to win at home. And you salvage the series, you split the 4-game series, and for Seymour yesterday becomes the third pitcher, only the third pitcher since 1980 to throw at least 6 2/3 innings of hitless relief. The last time it was done was in 2004 from Jake Westbrook.
Which is kind of surprising if you think about it, because even though the Rays were the first, and I don't remember what you thought of it, I remember being like, this opener, this is so dumb. You're never going to see the other teams do this. You're never going to see the teams that spend a lot of money use an opener. And by the way, I'm pretty sure at this point, everyone in baseball's used an opener at some point. But because the opener has become so prevalent, Aaron, I'm a little surprised that's what it is.
Yeah, you know what? Because of the opener, you're right. And Ian Seymour is somebody who we've seen, maybe this is a more comfortable role for him, whether it's being the opener or being in this, what we saw here, the bulk role.
Yeah. Maybe if he's going to get this, if he's going to be able to pitch this many pitches, if he's the quote, he won't be a quote unquote opener. He'll be a starter if he's, you know what I mean?
But for anybody that was mad that they took him out yesterday, like you said, a career high 90 pitches, why would you first of all want to keep moving on that guy and potentially hurt what you just found with like a guy who is coming up? Why would you want to hurt that guy?
This is so dumb.
It's so
dumb.
silly.
You get a guy who's good enough to go 6 2/3 without giving up a hit, and you throw him out there for one more inning, and he gets himself hurt, and then you have the whole bullpen and everything. It's a terrible idea. I found very little value in a combined no-hitter yesterday. Like, as soon as Kimbrough gave up the home run, I tweeted out, like, regardless what happens in this inning, the story is Ian Seymour. He was fantastic.
You know what the value is? Vibes. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what the value is.
It would have been fun. They would have had a fun celebration, right? And for about an hour after the game, it would have been like, that was so cool. Look what we did. And then we're right back to where we are.
And I think you're right. And I think Ian Seymour and his performance and Junior Caminero hitting 3 home runs and everyone really having a party, that should be enough to carry the momentum and the energy. It doesn't have to be a no-hitter.
You guys want a Sammy stats of the day?
Love to start the show, absolutely.
Yesterday, Rays baseball became the only team in MLB history, including the postseason, to have a no-hit bid longer than 8 innings and a 3-home-run performance, both in the same game.
There's never been a no-hitter and a 3-home-run performance.
Well, now I feel like we blew it. Well, Kevin Cash, how did you let this happen? How did you put Craig Kimbrell in there when we had a chance to do something that's never been done before?
Let me ask you something. Because we'll stay on this train of thought, Pat. Something that's also never been done before, and I wonder if this changes if we're in this situation. You joked about Ian Seymour and the walk. Let's say Ian Seymour doesn't have that walk, and you're in line for a combined perfect game. By the way, there has never, ever in the history of baseball been a combined perfect game. We've seen combined no-hitters. We've never seen a combined perfect game. There's only been 24 perfect games ever. Does it change anything for you if it's a perfect game going into the ninth?
No.
Me neither.
No. Especially like it might have been like if I
It
knew
changed
that.
a little bit.
If I knew that, I would be more motivated or hopeful, I guess, to see Kimbrel or whoever might roll out there in the ninth do well and not give up a hit. You know what I mean?
You
Or
know what I'm
not
doing?
give up a walk. But if it's, I'm still not rolling Seymour out there for more than a 90th pitch.
And I'm not rolling Baker out there. I might roll out somebody else that's available and not go all the way down the line to Kimbrel. I might roll out somebody else, maybe, but it changes it a little bit. But ultimately, the goal is not, and history's great, and that would have been much more, it would have been better than obviously the combined no-hitter that we've seen before.
Yeah, but how much, like, it's histories like that you hear about one time 20 years from now and go, oh, yeah, cool.
Are you somebody who wants to live in history, or are you somebody that wants to look towards the future? Because I like a little bit of both.
You love history.
right
You're
now-
a history guy.
But right now, for the sake of this conversation, I'm looking towards the future. And so is Kevin Cash. And good for him for doing that and not feeling the need to go out there and potentially hurt this team by throwing an arm out there when they have a ton. Go look at the schedule. They have so many games coming up before the All-Star break in a row that you got to have all your guys, and you can't be putting them out there in unnecessary situations where you're up by 13. So I commend him for not doing that and putting Kimbrel out there. And of course, Cash wanted Kimbrel to complete the no-hitter, but here's Kevin Cash on Seymour's performance.
No, I mean, look, if this pitch count would have been a little lower, then maybe there's more consideration, but we're still building him back up. A month ago, he was a 1 or 2 inning reliever throwing maybe 30 pitches an outing. So we got to be really responsible and smart with that. That was a pretty easy decision once he got to that 90 mark.
Nothing was going to sway him. Responsible and smart. Do you think Seymour was disappointed, Pat?
I doubt it. I think he understands. We're talking about a guy who, by the way, just 5 days ago went 81 pitches, 72 pitches the start before that. So, like Cash said, they're ramping him up. And I don't think you expect to go from 72 to 81 to 105, right? Which you're probably getting, if you go into the ninth and complete the ninth, probably another 15 pitches or so, right? Do you really want to go to 105 with a guy that you've just ramped up from 72 2 starts ago or 2 performances ago?
Here's Ian Seymour on the decision.
Yeah, I probably would have disappointed if I started it. But I came in for a bulk appearance, so from that standpoint, I've turned it over to Cashy. I trust him to always put my best interests forward. So
very interesting how honest he was about if I had started that game, I would have wanted the ball. But you know what? Competitor, I love that. Here's him more from Ian Seymour.
Yeah, I mean we won the game, so that's really where the focus is at. But it would have been cool. At the end of the day, that's a great day for the boys.
I think that's like perfectly said, right?
Yeah,
that's perfectly said. It's it would have been cool, but a great day for the boys.
Yeah, incredible to see where he's at too after the last 3 to be up to 90 pitches like this. You have to wonder if he's just going to go out there in inning number 1 the next time out and not even bother with using an opener.